Welcome to Chamber Talk with North Orange County Chamber. My name is Andrew Gregson and our guest today is Mayor Sonny Park. It's great to see you again, Sonny, and thank you very much for sharing time with us today.
Thank you.
Before we go into your bio, just actually say, thank you very much to your city, Bueno Park. Your whole team have been extremely supported over the past year, and you've attended a lot of our events as well. So thank you very much for that.
Yeah, thank you, Andrew. I really appreciate the partnership with North Orange County Chamber of Commerce. I really enjoyed all the events that you guys put out, especially the recent one about women's empowerment and she influence was awesome. Just being able to see so many women entrepreneurs who try to make a difference, especially after the pandemic. There are some people who don't know what's coming in the future. Local chamber putting out those type of empowerment program was really meaningful.
Thank you very much. And in fact, it's funny you mentioned that. Only a couple of days ago, we did a podcast. We had a Susie Linz on, and she was so inspired at that event that it made her stand up in front of the audience and say a few words. And then afterwards, she went on to start doing more videos on LinkedIn. So you're right. It was a great event. And that's what we're striving to do. If anybody can walk away with one thing from anyone talking at one of our events and it helps them develop themselves or a business, we've achieved the goal we needed to do. So thank you. And also thank you for your sort of literal physical sponsorship throughout the year, because that also helps people too, knowing that the city is behind the community and wishing to help people in business. That's a big deal. So I just wanted to run down to share with people who might not quite know everything about you. I'll just do a quick spiel here and then we'll ask you a few questions. So you are a wife and mother, and you're also an estate planning attorney, and you've worked with Usher Law Group for some years now. You're also currently the mayor of Bueno Park, and you represent the community on the Orange County Fire Authority and also the Southern California Associations of Governments on the Community Economics and Housing Development Committees. You were recently appointed to serve on the Revenue and Taxation Policy Committee for the California League of Cities, and you're also a recipient of the Presidential Gold Medal in Volunteerism from the former U.S. President Barack Obama. Now, usually at this point I say, oh my gosh, where do you find the time? But seriously, I was reading about this, and within a 12-month period, to get the gold medal, you have to do over 500 hours of volunteerism. How did you manage to do that?
Yeah, so, the particular year when I received this very prestigious award, I serve as the president for Orange County Korean American Bar Association. It was right after my very close friend passed away untimely, and I personally really struggled. But then I realized, oh my God, I have such a lucrative, job and beautiful family. And how can I get out of this personal struggle of losing someone who is important to me? And especially because I've been an estate planning attorney, helping the families prepare for the death of their loved ones.
Right.
And so I began volunteer for a local bar association, helping basically seniors who want to make medical decisions, when they have a medical emergency or after they pass away.
Right.
And I really loved it. So that's how that particular year I really focused on making sure to spend time with the community, and that led to another. And now, I'm serving the entire community. So I anybody who is listening to this podcast who's personally struggling, just look around, okay? The world is beautiful, and we can find something to do for other people.
That's actually great advice and very true. And I understand. I've worked in the estate planning field for some years prior to this position, and there are a lot of struggles with it, especially when families are arguing, which is heartbreaking just to see. But the fact of planning for your future and for your loved ones is extremely important and certainly makes sense.
Yes.
So on another point, of course, looking at everything you've done, and you went for a career as an attorney, and then you took another sort of degree, and you became very specialized in tax practice, which that's another big string to your bow. What made you initially run for city council?
So, as I said, my volunteer work in the community, and a few of someone that was close to me, it's been asking me to run for office. I said no, I didn't like what comes with it. But then I met Los Angeles City Council member now, Kevin DeLeon, who was actually serving on the Senate as a Senate pro tem for the California. He appointed me on the state commission. So I began going to Sacramento on a volunteer basis to basically serve on the California State Board of Accountancy. That board is to basically supervise and issue licenses for CPAs, certified, public accountants.
Right.
So this is a judicial as well as executive as well as legislative body for that particular profession. I loved it. Just being the representative from Orange County in Sacramento, being able to bring the perspective of local, back to Sacramento. I loved it. And then, so there was a position available in Buena Park where strongly, we have AAPI population. And that's how I became, running for public office in 2018.
And what type of sort of challenges do you face on the council? And of course, in particular, being mayor of such a prominent city in the area?
I just love Buena Park. It's just such a beautiful location. Location. We're not a big city. We are considered to be a small city because we have about 83,000 population, a population of 83,000. Nevertheless, we are at the center of the Southland and great team of people. And I think the challenges would be just whatever other communities are going through, homeless issue, and coming out of pandemic, and also empowering small businesses. These are the things that come as challenge, but I think the city of Buena Park is doing pretty well when it comes to financial stability and the future plan for the city.
And you touched on something there about coming out of COVID, and I remember being at the State of the City and how much Buena Park had been active during that time. How is it changing? Do you see the changes right now coming out of COVID?
I think Buena Park was very lucky because we had a leadership that wanted to be visible during the emergency. The pandemic was a shock to everybody. And when there's an emergency, that's when you want to see your leadership really being active,
right,
and being visible and showing the pathway to overcome that challenge. And we are one of the first city that rolled out 100% renewable energy. Very forefront about energy issue, and we were one of the first cities that mandated facial mask to protect the essential workers. We were one of the first cities that gave a hero pay to basically honor our essential workers as well. So these are the things that the city has been doing, and we continue on. The city now, we have a few spots that need to fill with our development plan, and it is really coming well. So I think you're going to see a beautiful city in 5 years or 10 years.
And is it difficult to find people to wish to develop in the city, or is it you have to reach out and invite people, or are people just like banging on the door sometimes?
We had some struggles as a city to get out of some lawsuits. With prior developers, but it's all, we were able to put it behind and move forward, and we are getting a lot of attraction from really reputable developers who want to work with the city.
That's fantastic. That's great news, isn't it? It really is nice to hear that, because it's a big. You say it's a small city, and to be honest with you, your city manager Aaron France says the same thing sometimes, but it's not really. It's a huge city with a big heart, and of course there's a lot going on there.
Yes. So when you look at one development, that development brings restaurants.
Mm-hmm.
That development brings local jobs.
Mm-hmm.
That development brings construction workers.
Mm-hmm.
So we are so excited about these 3 potential sites that
Right.
would be coming very soon.
Out of interest, is one of those the Source? Is that being developed now?
Yes, Source. The hotel is moving very well
Oh,
forward.
excellent.
Yeah, so we're gonna get that done pretty quick.
That's lovely. Do you think? Is there a sort of an end date? Is there when it might be done?
I don't know yet.
In the next couple of years,
Yeah.
for sure.
Yes. I know they are working very well.
Right.
Working very fast.
Well, that's awesome. That's great news. Well, thank you for that. You can obviously see there's a slight pattern to your career path here. But in particular, why stand for OC Supervisor?
Yes. Really, pandemic really taught me the importance of local leadership. As I said earlier, when there's an emergency, we want to see our leader to step up and say, she may not necessarily know the answer,
Mm-hmm.
but she has the courage to let people know
Mm-hmm.
that at least I think this is the way to go. Let's go together and let's make things, And so that has been my mindset. But while going through the pandemic, what I realized was Orange County supervisors hold big money, $8 billion in their annual budget. Buena Park, our working budget is about $70 million. Wow. Fullerton is about a little over $100 million.
Right.
$8 billion is a huge amount of money.
Right.
But I just got so frustrated because of the lack of county support
Okay.
on many issues.
Right.
And I was thinking, oh my God, if I have that budget in my hands, what would I do to
Right.
improve the quality of life? Homeless issue, for instance. I consider homeless issue is a regional issue. It is not a city issue. If the city of Buena Park, where we have Knott's Berry Farm, our police officers actively engaging in servicing homeless individuals and making sure that they can transition into a permanent housing or navigation center. Once we start pushing people away, what happens? They come to Fullerton. They go to La Mirada. They go to Cypress. So we're all connected. Then who needs to step up? County needs to step up.
Right.
And I just felt that I haven't seen the strong community, central leadership in homeless issue. That's not the only issue that I just was thinking, county can do more. That's the main reason why I decided to step up.
What other areas do you feel that money could be maybe better placed or spent on?
I think empowering small businesses is a very important aspect. I ran into one restaurant owner during the pandemic, and I got concerned about her, so I walked into her restaurant, and she told me that she doesn't have internet visibility. Okay, so no DoorDash, no Lyft service.
Right.
So she was completely relying on just calling and getting order. Right. And I'm thinking there has to be a way for them to really step up and being visible on the web. And these are the things that the county supervisor can really help. From the city side, yes, I can do it, but my reach and my budget is so small.
Right.
And some of the issues can be regionally worked on together with many different cities. So,
I totally agree. In fact, we at North Orange County Chamber are actually trying to start. It's from speaking to you and actually Aaron. When you were explaining the pair of you when I first started this position about how people struggled through and why, and it's stories like the one you just shared there, it made me think, well, Chambers could somehow get that together because they know so many different people in the community, and really we're just a relationship machine, aren't we? And if we can put set courses aside and other members can assist with that, then we will grow a better, healthier business community. And I feel that because Chambers also are very limited to a very small amount of money that they receive through their membership, it would be nice that there's some type of funding that can help go toward that to establish a greater area in the community. So I'm glad you brought that up.
Yes, because, as an estate planning attorney, I've been serving private, wealthy individuals. The way I look at the society overall, community overall, is you have private taxpayers, okay, one hand, and you have nonprofits like North Orange County Chamber of Commerce, and you have government agency. When these three triangle work together to push the community to the right direction, you can make a lot of difference.
You can make a big dent, can't you? You're totally right. So thinking ahead, let's just say you win the election and you're starting away. What do you think one of your first main obstacles and challenges would be as you're moving into basically a whole new chapter in your life?
North Orange County, the District 4, consists of Fullerton, Buena Park, La Habra, Brea, Placencia, Stanton, and part of Anaheim, where I've been going all the time, so I know where moving pieces are. So it's just putting things together. And when I campaign, I've been walking since January to talk to people. And what I realized was my biggest challenge is not going up against an incumbent county chair. A lot of people told me, hey, this is a big job, and you have an incumbent. Why don't you wait another 4 years? What really pushed me was, again, the pandemic.
Right.
The pandemic requires all of us to have a forward thinking, how to make changes into what we've been doing and we've been taking for granted into something else, post-pandemic thinking.
Yes.
So I thought, I'm going to just try it. And surprisingly, I came out as the front runner.
Right.
Nobody thought that who is this Sunny Park person is.
Right.
She's a mayor of a small city.
Yeah.
But what I realized was the community is very concerned about the future, but at the same time, they are very hopeful to have a strong leadership. So I said, hey, this is my vision. What do you think? And when I passed the primary as a front runner against an incumbent county chair and another candidate, and especially first, and my vote and the second place was 2,900 votes difference, but the second and third was only a little over 500 votes, and I'm thinking I can do this. I can do this. So now I have so many high school students, college students walking with me to see that difference moving out of pandemic.
And on a personal level, because you're a mom and you're a wife and you have a family and you have your friends here, how do you think that's going to impact your personal life?
Yes, it's going to, as a family, we're going through a lot of changes, especially my husband is a county employee. So when I decide to run,
you really are his boss.
Yes. I asked him, hey, is it okay for me to run? Because what do you think about me becoming your boss?
Right, literally.
Yes, and his answer was, he looked at me and goes, you've been my boss for 23 years. We've been married for 23 years. What difference does it make?
Right.
So I have a very good family support. My daughter goes to Sunny Hills, a junior. And she's that teenage. She's going through that stage, but I know she's very proud of me. Running for an office, and she told me, "Mom, I told all of my friends, tell their parents to vote for Sunny Park."
That's awesome. As we're wrapping up our podcast today, and again, thank you for coming in. Is there a final message you would like to share with anybody?
Yes, when I look at North Orange County Chamber and also the members of the chamber, I go to your events, I see a lot of possibilities. And a lot of resources available. And, I think that being able to support the North Orange County Chamber from the county level with a big budget, I just want to really get elected and be able to work with you guys in partnership. Again, we rely on membership and assistance from the cities, but the county can do so much to make a huge difference in North Orange County area. Here, north end of Orange County, we have have a huge disparity between people with resources and without. And we also have cities over 100 years old infrastructure, and there are a lot to be done. And having the mindset of, forward thinking is going to really make a big difference.
I believe so. And if people wish to find out more about you, where can they go? What's your website?
Yeah, my website is www.sunnypark4oc.com. So sunnypark4oc.com.
Excellent. Well, thank you very much for joining us today. We really do appreciate it. We invite listeners to join our email list by visiting nocchamber.com and selecting sign up for news at the top of the page. For more interviews, follow us on Podbean, Chamber Talk with North Orange County Chamber. Thank you very much today, and take care.